Welcome up, guys, to Project Zero. This is Rishav here with another episode for the second marathon focused all on podcasting. Get that cadence right. So I think it's probably like episode 35 or something like that. I don't even know anymore. Oh no, I saw it actually. I just edited the name so it says number 40. So this is a 40th podcast, believe it or not. That's focused on the second marathon podcasting. Very quickly relieve shelter, respite shelter for those without a stable home or a place to call, or people to call family. And you're always welcome here. And this is a mixture of slice of life and in real life are put together so that we can experience some sense of fulfillment and share in each other's lives and so on and so forth. Anyways, long story short, it's a place to focus on productive and positive ventures. And hopefully you're all welcomed here. So why don't we just dive into it? We have a lot of stuff, a goal to say for every video here, every podcast that you're listening to, is to knock out at least 15 to 20 of these podcasts, tabs per video. And so let's just get started here. Where we left off in the previous video, our podcast was on WordPress. And at WordPress, we had a page. So that was, let me just showcase here quickly. Hey, welcome to the Digital Respite Shelter on Row Research, or for short, independent designers, filmmakers, love nature. We went through this entire text all the way through to the bottom, to the podcast, to the imagery. So we have imagery, we have podcasting, we have the text, and the website itself. And we mentioned that we clicked through all these links, we brought ourselves to multiple different websites that are all affiliated with the project, so Project Zero. One is like a bio, another one's more for like the podcast, and another one is for a blog, which is what you're seeing right now. Although it does have integrations with like an art gallery for other people who have similar sorts of taste, as well as, generally speaking, a link to the podcast. So if we click on Project Zero here, what this would take you to, that would take you to a separate website. But we didn't click on his Linktree Media. But if we did click on this, it would lead us over to this. So let's just close that right now. And I want to mention that WordPress, we're going to go full circle in this video. I just took a look at the tabs that we're covering, and we're going to basically be going in full circle really shortly and covering WordPress once again, very briefly. So just symbolically speaking. So Linktree, we have talked about this in a previous video before. We're not going to go into too much detail for that reason. If you want, you can always find the details and how to set it up by just checking out previously on playlists on YouTube or Spotify or Apple iTunes, whatever it is. Okay, so right here are all the links, and it's a very comprehensive list. Respite Shelter, Project Live, 24/7, on road CBT's AI. You got YouTube, Instagram, Discord, Patreon, SoundCloud, Twitter, so on and so forth, Etsy, Badida, Twitch, and it goes all the way down. Respite Shelter. So we click the link here, and basically the reason why this is open was, again, we were testing what to see and make sure that the podcasts are being displayed, and they are. So we can see here, right? I love this widget here. This is a fucking amazing Linktree widget. I gotta watch my language, to be honest, on podcasts. But creator reactions, content reviews, channel exploration and discovery. Video uploads to YouTube 11 to 7 a.m. EST time zone. Live streams run 24/7. Full schedule on Twitch. Okay. And of course, the most amazing thing here is you click on listen on, and you can see all Apple Podcasts, all of them here. Every single one of the links: Android, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google, Castbox, Bullhorn, Pocket, Overcast, Castro, Sonnet, Podbeam, Podhero, and blah-de-da. All that stuff. List is endless. It goes further and further down. Affiliate revenue may earn Linktree affiliate revenue, but not for me actually. So anyways, going down here, you can see all the other links here for join and follow, business opportunity, enrollment, nutritional products, on a row, content reviews, so on and so forth, join and follow, contact form, reach out on our direct website, so on and so forth, join a Discord, and the projects, and it goes all the way down to the social media and covering reaction inception. So that's the link tree there that was linked over from WordPress, ironically. Okay. And we wanted to make sure, like I said, that the podcast was in fact displaying. Next. Okay. BandCamp. So this is a platform that I have not been very familiar with. BandCamp is something that I always wanted to explore. And I was actually a little bit disappointed at first based off of the general atmosphere, and I would say that their website isn't that great. It's in terms of let me think of the right choice of words, because what is the concept? What is it that I don't find great? Specifically, their user interface, right? But of course, that was just an initial impression. So why did I decide to go against that afterwards? Is because, yeah, sure, their website design isn't all that great. I'm sorry, not website design. Their ease of use, it's kind of outdated. If you look at their interface right now, this is kind of reminiscent of early 2000s web pages, right? It's just so, it's not even minimalistic, right? It's just in Arial font that's really small and hard to read, and everything, all the interfaces are kind of, it's just not very appealing in any way. It's a very, very old school websites from like 2 decades ago, which is fine, right? I mean, but it's something that was that stuck out to me and made me feel that BandCamp wasn't as professional as I thought it would be, and boy was I wrong. So actually, it's quite professional, and what it does is it allows you to, in fact, upload. It's for bands who are uploading their tracks and music, so all of the focus, of course, isn't necessarily on the user design. It's less so on UX and more so on the actual music, what you hear. And of course, that should be the focus as always. That's why it's blown up. So BandCamp, of course, I have to admit, I don't think it's as far as I'm concerned, it's not a huge site. I don't see that everywhere. But anyways, it's for musicians though, so that might explain. It's not for podcasting, it's for musicians. So I can't really benefit from this very much because it does mention that if you want to upload, it has to be under 29 minutes, or sorry, not 29 minutes, but has to be under 290 megabytes. Most of my podcasts are, even the ones that are only 20 minutes or 15 minutes long, exceed the 290 megabyte size limit. So it's not helpful. I created a BandCamp account to be sure, and just to check out the features, and boy, do they have a lot of great things for musicians. So if you're a musician, totally drop by BandCamp, make use of it, because you can set up your own subscription level tiers. You can offer all sorts of different incentives and rewards for your fan base. I know that's something that we have to conflict with those sometimes as an artist or a creator or so on and so forth, trying to create stuff that we've got to monetize so that becomes a sustainable and viable project, but that's very important. Anyways, down here, again, just regurgitating a blog post I read earlier on a previous episode on podcasting. Anyways, attribution, you can see down here there are even Creative Commons licenses, so you can check them off. Attribution, non-commercial, no derivatives, share alike. Info on attribution, no derivatives, non-commercial, share alike, attribution, and they give you all the information here. Right, this license is the most restrictive, and my goodness, this is so helpful because for me personally, I always wanted to get a better understanding of what all these copyright terms mean. So they have here at the very top here, the most restrictive, all rights reserved, and that's it. There's nothing else that needs to be said. But then we go to Creative Commons, and there's actually 6 different types of licensing. So the most restrictive one that is directly beneath, just a little bit less restricted than all rights reserved, is the attribution, non-commercial, no derivatives. This license is, let's slow down our pacing, the most restrictive Creative Commons license allowing redistribution. This license is often called the free advertising license because it allows others to download your works and share them with others as long as they mention you and link back to you, but they can't change them in any way or use them commercially. Now let's go to the least restrictive, so we go to attribution. This license lets others distribute, remix, tweak, and build upon your work, even commercially. Even commercially, they can profit and make money off of the new derivatives, as long as they credit you for the original creation. This is the most accommodating of licenses offered in terms of what others can do with your works licensed under attribution. So again, learning all this, and then there's everything else in between. So no derivatives, non-commercial, right? You can click on the info to learn more. Yeah. And then they have all these little logos here. So very interesting here. Creative license, Creative Commons is just the copyright symbol turned. flipped over horizontally apparently. But you can see it's for music, it's for musicians, it's for bands. So you can upload your tracks, upload your album with a variety of different tracks, and then get it all featured here. Just trying to wonder why my hair's going on. It's getting a bit long. And public characters, it's not something I can use very well. You can click on dashboard, you can click on stats. Welcome to Project Jira on Row. This is your dashboard. Your first step to BandCamp prosperity. Actually, this site looks pretty up to date. I'm not gonna lie. It's just the behind user interface, the GUI that you just saw right now, is a really out of date. But over here, it looks fine, man. On the band page, it actually looks pretty cute. Looks pretty cute. With the little white bunny rabbit here. Bunny rabbit, you're up. 45 seconds apiece. Check it. Okay, no. Anyways, this is where you'll see your followers. Okay, no. Yeah, that's embarrassing. Cringe. All right. Edit profile. Tools, subscription, settings, guide. All right. Let's close this tab here. I don't think we have to go. Oh, close too much. All right, so we have here the guide. Let's see the time. I think I went too much in depth on BandCamp, but BandCamp really deserves its own video on its own. I recognize I'm not supposed to spend that much time, but that's okay. That's okay. You look like a fucking worm with braids. Said I wouldn't cuss, but I had to quote that 8 Mile. Lickety split. How and why should I upload lossless files? So this is important. I was wondering, why is it that I have to convert my files, which are in MKV and MP4, over to WAV, AIFF, and FLAC. So FLAC, WAV, and AIF, I like to call them. Upload requirements. So those are the extensions. Why don't you just accept MP3s? And it's all about preserving the integrity of your work and providing flexibility to your fans. WAV, so it's about lossless, right? So it doesn't lose quality over conversions, especially if people are paying for your content. AIFF, FLAC are high fidelity, lossless formats. By starting with the highest possible quality source, we're able to convert your tracks into a bunch of different format and quality combinations. Some we use to make your streams sound great, others we offer to audiophile pleasing downloads. Sure, many fans listen using Spirit Airlines headphones worn on the outside of their hoodies, so basically poor quality. But for the rabid minority who are, those are your fan base, right? The people who care very deeply about your content, about your work, about your artistry. But for the rabid minority of creations who care about this stuff, synonyms, this is a big part of the reason they buy on BandCamp and recommend others to do the same. Sold. So how do I get my tracks into a lossless format? Of course, new tracks are probably already in WAV or AIFF and can easily be saved in one of those formats by your audio editing software. I'm assuming that's not the case, or maybe it is with Audacity, but I don't think people really use Audacity to make music. If you're importing old tracks from CD, just rip the tracks to WAV and so on and so forth. Anyways, goes into lossless, right? So all that stuff. So why can't I just convert my MP3s to lossless and upload those? And I like this one. This 3-liner right here sums up exactly the mindset and the perspective of the BandCamp staff. We strongly recommend against it. Period. That's it. The resulting audio will not sound good, and fans expecting to get a high quality download will be disappointed. That isn't even a question. They just say they will be disappointed. Some will, rightfully, and they put their own opinion inserted in here. The staff put their own opinion as their musicians or their music producers or managers. Some will rightfully demand a refund, right? I love it. Great. So, of course, I don't know how much I should say about whether or not I will do the same thing. I don't know if I would be the kind of person to demand a refund, but I can respect that some people will not be happy to receive a download that is of poor quality, especially if they paid for it. But that's for the fan base and so on and so forth. Left-hand side. All right, let's hop on over to this side here. Oh, shoot. I just, no, don't do that. Don't do that. All right, articles in this section. Why won't my tracks upload on the left-hand side navigation panel? How do I upload music? My new release isn't saving. Why? Why and how should I upload lossless files? Can I upload high resolution tracks? What about 24-bit? What's the maximum upload size? How do I set up a sample pack? All those questions and more answered right here on get.bandhelp.com, or sorry, get.bandcamp.help. /hc/en/.us. Okay, can I upload covers, remixes, and mashups, and all that jazz? Okay, so that's what's there. And all right, if you're a musician and you have music tracks and so on and so forth, get over here on Bandcamp. What are you doing? Get monetized, get connected with your fans, get a following, and make your project sustainable. Wow, it sounds like an advertisement. All right, get out of here. Okay, I said in this video we've been doing full circle. So after exploring Bandcamp in all its gritty nuance and covering a little bit of Linktree and starting off with WordPress, so somewhere along the lines, we noticed on Twitch that we received some comments that we didn't receive. So on the notion of Bandcamp, talking about fan base and, interaction with people who listen to your stuff and appreciate your creative artistry and your content, and whatever it is you're doing, man. What you can hop on over to is basically I missed someone who commented something, I believe, over on my Twitch channel, chuckle.s. Just want to give a quick shout out. I'm sorry I missed your comment. I believe that's what ended up happening. So thanks for dropping by, man, and I appreciate you. In addition, there's still 3 messages I've answered, but most of them are just kind of like spammy DMs, I think. Next to that, we also have another thing that has to do with learning about podcasting, but I want to save this separately for another time where I delve into it personally. So what this is the Spotify learning guide. We're going to hop over to this one first. So Aiden profile, speaking about people who just drop by the stream, this is another thing that happened. I'm not sure what ended up happening here, but for some reason I found someone's playlist or something like that. So we're talking about just small individuals, whether it's Chuckle S dropping by, just the regular usual browsing on Twitch, and then this other person here pushing out their own playlist, just not as a creator but just as a listener over on Spotify, and just checking out here. So what's hot, dump, what their music's like, toe, second, third. So it really says, you can connect with other people on these platforms here, just like as Bandcamp mentions, connecting in with your fans. See how I tied that together there? Okay, between Twitch and Spotify, and then on Bandcamp. All right, yeah, we got it. We gotta do something like that, man. We just gotta weave with it, So Spotify, Respite Shelter Jira. Of course, we're here because we want to test a link. Oh man, and we went over to the profile here. See the public playlist. Oh, that's why we're here, actually. Never mind, we weren't here to test the link for this one. The reason why we have this Spotify open specifically is so that we could check the profile and see if which playlists are being shown to the public and which are not. And you can see here, open.spotify.com/user/onrow. I want to get the link as well and save it over to my spreadsheet so that if I ever need to share it, I can share it. But I also want to, very importantly, figure out, I want to know what's being seen publicly by people who drop by my profile, right? I think that's a reasonable demand. So we cut by over here, you can see top tracks of the month, visible only by you, however, and then the 3 public playlists here, MP2, M2, P41, very complicated stuff, Mandarin, Melancholy, and Energetic. You can see Nelly on the side there. Okay. So that's what we did, right? Checking out individual tracks and stuff like that after checking off like individuals also on Twitch, like individual people just watching, consumers, not creative producers. Now, and that profile, by the way, was not my podcasting profile on Spotify. There are 2 profiles. One is for the podcast. One is just for my own profile for the playlist, for the music. Okay. So last but not least, to do with Spotify, and we're definitely cutting down on time here. I see it's about 18 minutes in. So like I said, we want to save this here because this is related to Spotify, but it's also useful. Be the star of your own show, solo podcast ideas, the scoop on video podcasting with Rayos X and Tikarakati-cast. There we go. Say that 3 times fast. Tikarakati-cast. Okay, whatever. Respecting everyone's rights, podcast and copyrighted content. Podcasters reveal the most important lessons learned. Check out these video podcast examples and ideas, idées in French, parlez-vous en français, to inspire your June. Cringe. No, it's not cringe. It's not cringy. It's cringe when you say it's cringy. That's my opinion on that shit. But definitely, I love languages, man. You don't like languages? I love languages. Jama, NYC. Anyways, Spotify for podcasters. So you can check out all their resources, their entire guide and blog here, the fundamental guide for creators, a scoop on video podcasting, stuff that how to record, one, you featuring Stephen Bartlett. So I think I'm going to leave this up, something useful. And now we full circle back after checking all these links, after checking all these individuals in our own individual Spotify account, segue back right into WordPress. So here is Zyrowski.wordpress.com, which we did not cover in as much detail as we did on row.wordpress.com. So that was the blog and the comprehensive bio that includes all the media. This one's specifically only for the podcast. The podcast for men about all the things that matter. So the projects: Rishiv Zyrowski, respite shelter for orphan lost souls without a stable home nor family, run-escape, RS. So it's a play on the game RuneScape, Run Escape, RuneScape. You have the podcast down here showing remove this site with a paid plan, blah-de-da. Of course, if you want to remove that banner, you can, but to do so, you have to pay. Okay, going further down, the main content. This is where the cheese, where the meat is, right? Types of depression, anxiety, bipolar, developmental trauma, complex stress, Gabriel that's autism deficit, so on and so forth, neurodiverse. Very heavy content for that particular podcast. But anyways, going further down, we have more lighthearted podcasts, episode story. And there's even a description here on this little widget. So creator reactions, content reviews. You can click play, go play. Play 5 seconds.
Guys, welcome back to the project on its lifelong marathon. I'm here
maybe 10
with another.
And then you can see, so basically that's the first podcast there. That's not the first, but it's the most recent podcast. Going further down, it goes straight through for that, showcasing the the next 5 that were most recently released. Grisha Marley, Attack on Titan, backup plugin for OBS, Spotify Studio, shorts on YouTube, and so on and so forth. And we scroll down here, the hosts. So Roy and An are both writers and survivors. Learn more. Okay. And I wonder what happens. So if I hover over learn more, I'm assuming it will showcase the link to onroad.wordpress.com. I just want to make sure that in fact that is where it redirects. And I cannot see it. That's too bad. That's okay. But going down here, join the community. We're thrilled to have you. Oh, I didn't even switch the scenes here. You guys have just been listening to me talk to you straight up like this and haven't been able to see what I've been showcasing. Oh man, that's a real bummer. I just switched over to the backdrop fairly recently. But I wanted a thumbnail to be different, really. I wanted to switch up the scenery a bit. But join the community. We're thrilled to have you here. Now, if you don't want to miss an article or an episode, you can subscribe to our newsletter, right? Listen on blah-de-da. Join the community, enter your email. Listen over on Apple's Podcasts, on Stitcher, Spotify. All the links here I actually had to edit, of course, and in fact they do work. Connect them with the links, and that's really nice. So we can see it does work, and I'm very happy to say that it connects. Now, in addition to that, I should mention that of course, because I just realized right now that I've been recording this in a scene that doesn't showcase the content very well. It's okay because, again, listen to this as a podcast on Spotify, and you won't have any visual content anyways for the most part in that sense. So there is a little tiny graphic on the top left-hand side. You can see a little bit of that. But again, if you ever want to explore all the things I just spoke about in this podcast, in this video, because we're wrapping up right now, you can just hop over to BandCamp. I just talked so much about them. All you have to do is hop over onto Microsoft Bing on Google and just search up BandCamp, right? Search up Spotify, search up the self-help guides, and search up, copyright, Creative Commons on the help guide for BandCamp, and you'll learn all that information right there, all that jazz. Same thing with the website here. Again, I'm feeling a little bit remorseful of the fact that I didn't cover the website in greater detail right here visually, but we have the chance and opportunity to circle back. So what a full circle it goes around, right? So we got to showcase Zyrowski in full, and now we have, like we said, since we're circling back to WordPress, turns out we have a second opportunity to cover this the right way, and we are going to get it right. So we're going down here and we're going to showcase and run through basically what the WordPress blog for On-Road looks like. So hey, let's run through the text. Welcome to the digital respite shelter. I'm on Row, Rishiv Zyrowski, Roy for short, independent designers and filmmakers who love nature, placing its chaotic paradox squarely in our palms to triumph and overcome destitute hopelessness. And further down here, embrace and blossom fruits of labor, from enduring the living abyss to wholly devour euphoric tragedies, whether with riveting vigor or slowly encroaching piecemeal towards freedom and fulfillment. And you just kind of make it artistic. And of course the links here. I think we actually covered this maybe in the previous video, but what we didn't cover was at least the visuals, was from BandCamp. And so I'm just going to do a real switch up here for a moment, and see if I can. Oh, we don't have to. Sick. I notice in the future we will be covering BandCamp anyways. So as I mentioned, we can just cover it. We can repeat a little bit there about Creative Commons and showcase exactly what the settings are in brief. So that's it for this one. It's running 25 minutes, a little bit longer because, again, realizing the visuals were missed. But with that being said, that's where we'll continue. We're going to leave off. And now it's going to be a bit quiet for myself. I'm going to be spending at least a couple hours now editing or uploading and syncing up all the descriptions, everything. So with that being said, you guys can just catch, you won't notice any of this, right? You'll just be listening in every day. So I'll see you in, again, it's very real, in real life, slice of life, combined. Relief shelter, you don't have a safe place to go, right? This is kind of like a digital relief shelter. Welcome here, share experiences, share what's going on. If you're working on a podcast, if you're working on your activities, feel free to just drop by and tell me, explain what you're doing. And of course, we're on this journey together. So, feel free to listen over on podcasts or just during your commutes or when you're, multitasking on your household chores. And also, again, keep it short and snappy to about 20 minutes. And of course, also there's video content if you would like to get that stuff as well. Unfiltered, also raw, uncut on Patreon if you actually want to go the extra mile, but you don't have to. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. I appreciate you guys. And I'm signing out. This is Rishev. I'll see y'all in the next one when we cover, it seems to be Stitcher, Deezer. That's a real classic. And then we'll have more on BandCamp. So I'll organize that content more better for the next podcast so that we actually know sequence of the trajectory of our podcast. That's something I got to work on. See you there, guys. Peace out.